Let go.
Turn up, 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 turn up.
All right, we back, man. We're gonna welcome you back to local Louisville fighting. We are here, of course. You know me, CWMC. I have
Katie Marks,
my co-host, and in the building today we have Terrence Silver. So if you don't know about Terrence Silver, we are going to tell you all about him today. But before we get started, let's just have a local rundown of what's been going on lately. So we want to give a shout out. LLF was in Evansville with X-Fit, Azar Cooper. Big ups, good there. We always show what's up to Cincinnati. They always show us love. And they had 2 fights before that have been going on if you haven't had a chance to catch. So there was the juicy fight a while back. They brought some guy in from Italy. He ended him in the second round. That's how that goes. Then there was a show out in Shelbyville. That was a really good show that showed off Deshaun Ross, who is from Jeff City. So Jeff City Boxing, what's up? He killed it out there. Killed it out there so bad that he's about to get put on the Jake Paul undercard, and he's about to get put with someone else. I'm going to look that up before the show's over. So that's what's been going on here in local Louisville fighting. So we are going to get into our guests. And before we get into our guest, Mr. Terrence Silver, I want you to know, let me know if I got this right, Terrence. This is the last gentleman to win the National Golden Gloves Championship that is born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. I got that right, Terrence?
I think so, yes.
Yes. Now there was somebody afterwards.
Right.
But I don't think they were born.
He won the title, and he was representing Louisville, but I don't think he was born and raised in Louisville.
Right, and nothing wrong with that. We ain't
Nothing wrong
mad
with
at
that.
you.
Right.
We're not mad at you, so we're glad
right.
that you did that. So we're gonna jump right into it. Oh, don't let me forget. All things possible through God.
Right.
Let's just jump into it. Let's just jump into
Okay.
our ghost turns. And who gets to go first? You want to go first today? I get to go first.
Sounds like you're a little prepared and excited.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
So you were part of the era when Louisville was known for boxing and people were other jealous of boxing. So tell me, how did you get started in boxing back in that day?
I was about 13
Right.
when a man who lived across the street from me, his name was Billy Williams. He was a former boxer himself, and he had 4 sons. He had been trained by Fred Stoner, who was the one who gave Muhammad Ali his
Fred Stoner, hold on. Bomb. Fred Stoner, bomb. I see you, Siobhan.
Okay.
We just did Fred Stoner Day.
Right,
I was telling you about it.
Granddaughter had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Fred Stoner was his trainer.
Okay.
Okay. And I had met Fred, of course. So we were like 13. This man from Cincinnati, nobody knew him. His name was Baby Leroy Edmondson.
Okay.
Baby Leroy.
Uh-huh.
Baby Leroy rode up in an old beat-up car. Me and Billy Williams' 4 boys climbed in the back seat. And he took us to a gym which was in the basement of the Beecher Terrace.
Oh, say it again.
Beecher Terrace basement. It was in the basement of Beecher Terrace, which is 11th and Jefferson.
Right.
Okay, 10th, 11th and Jefferson.
The heart.
And now all we had was a ring. In the basement was a ring and a heavy bag. We had hand gloves and boxing gloves.
Right.
Hand wraps, and boxing gloves.
Right.
And we didn't have a speed bag. We didn't have mitts and a lot of other equipment. But what we had in advantage was a master teacher.
Did you know what you're getting yourself into?
I never knew. We just all climbed in the car, and he came. Big Bill said, which is Billy Boy, the boxer who was first on, his name was Big Bill, who lived across the street. He said to us, he said, y'all want to know how to box? I got a guy who wants to, teach y'all boxing. This man never missed a day.
Never missed a day.
He came at clockwork, 6 o'clock.
Every day.
Every day. We jumped in the back of his car, and every day we went to the gym. The very first day we got in the gym in the basement, he would taught us to stand, our stance.
Right.
Okay. And when you don't know what you're doing, I'm standing up with my right hand. I'm right-handed. My right hand foot out front and my right hand out front.
Right.
No, baby. Let me show you something. And he set our stance right. Your left out and shoot your left jab. And all we did was shoot jabs on the bag. And then we got in the ring with just one glove, our left hand. And we boxed each other.
With one hand.
One hand.
Right. Just
Jabs
just
only.
jab.
That's
Learning to
it.
work
That's
that
what you
jab.
learning first.
Learn to work that jab. Then we come back out, we hit the bag. Shoot that jab, shoot that jab. And every day we did that until probably about maybe 3 weeks, and then we could use our right hand. But we were mastering that jab.
Right.
You know,
right.
and he was mastering the step and our balance and all of that. Come to find out, this man who was a veteran of over 60 pro fights.
Oh.
Had fought a little too much, a little punchy, a little bit, I guess you could say.
Punch drunk.
Punch drunk, so
Little-
we like to
little bit
call
of
that
that.
around here.
But he was a master teacher.
Master teacher.
Master teacher. Never. He's a guy that you never would hear him raise his voice or curse.
Never.
Never. And then
Wow.
eventually he became so among us because a lot of kids wanted to jump in and all that, and that but he had such respect that people the guys who liked to curse would curse their mouth around
Right,
him.
right,
Around him.
This
You know
is
what I'm
Baby
saying?
Leroy.
Baby
correct?
Leroy,
Gotcha.
my coach.
Gotcha.
Baby Leroy Emerson. Baby Leroy had 4 daughters. He never had any sons, but we were his sons.
Feel that.
Okay.
Feel
His
that.
wife was every fight we go to, she be there.
Yeah, that the boxing mom, team mom type
Boxing
of deal.
team mom. Okay. Now we like I said, we started out probably about 13. I won my first Golden Gloves. I was 14.
He was 14.
In those days, local Golden Gloves. In those days, 16 was what you call open, and anything under 16 was called novice.
Right.
Okay.
Boxing. Okay.
All
Open division means you can go and fight. You was open. You could actually go out of town and fight or whatever else, and you can fight in tournaments or things of the nature that was above 18. So in other words, if you were 16 and above, you'd be fighting somebody 22, 23. But if you were
wow.
under, the limit is your age group.
Okay. And
Up under
Brian, what
16.
year was this? What year was this roughly?
We talking. Let's see. I won the Olympic trials in
60.
60 in 72. I was 16 in 72. So we're
this
talking
is about
70. We're talking 70. My
70s,
first Golden Glove, I think,
70s,
was 70,
60s.
71.
So you 14 in what, 60s?
No.
Oh, just you 70s.
70s.
Okay.
I was born in 56, so
All right.
I was 10 in 66.
All right, we're not going to tell everybody that. You know what?
Okay,
We're not gonna tell everybody.
okay. Anyway. So when we were boxing, Baby Leroy was like I said, a master teacher. Okay.
Right.
Later on, a kid got hurt in the gym, in the basement. Not in our gym, but they had other things going on in the basement of Beecher Terrace. So
Right.
they outlawed basement. They locked those doors, and we had to move to Baxter in Broadway.
Baxter Avenue.
Yeah, so our gym became known as the Baxter
Right
gym.
where that club is right now.
Yeah,
Well, that's the same thing came to my mind. I was like,
Yeah.
Baxter. He said, that's a
We
club
talked
now.
about that
yeah.
before.
Yes.
Well, we was known as Baxter Boxing.
Okay.
Okay,
That's where Greg
Baxter
Page
Gym. That's what
trained
Greg
too,
Page
correct?
trained and all that.
That's what
Now,
the
Greg
great
Page
Page.
later became. Let's see. I was probably 17 when Greg came to the gym. Young fat boy.
Young
Greg
fat
Page.
boy.
Yeah, Greg Page. Okay. And see, I went away. Next year I went away to college.
All right.
But at that time, the older boxers like me and who had been around were helping the younger boxers.
Right. That's
Greg
what you're supposed to
Page
do.
and
Yeah.
and
That's what you're
Tyrone
supposed to do.
Moore and fighters like that. So we took them guys under our wing.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that type of thing. But Baby Leroy was a master teacher. He was Emmanuel Stewart called him one of the best trainers in the world.
Did he really?
Yes, he said.
Hey, that's big. That's big.
when you
bread
can take
right
a
there.
kid from scratch to championship,
Right.
listen, a lot of trainers can jump in somebody's corner
Mm-hmm.
after he's already been trained. Like but Angelo Dundee got respect and responsible for training Muhammad Ali, but it was really Fred Stoner who honed those skills.
Say that again.
Say that
Okay.
again.
Say that again.
Right.
Fred Stoner.
Fred Stoner never got the credit
Right.
because when Ali went Muslim, I went to it with the nation. Him and Fred, they fell out about his direction.
Yeah.
But
Part of
the
the game.
teaching skills and all that, he always gave Fred his credit, his due. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
Baby
a good
Leroy was the one I give the due. You know,
Feel that.
he
Feel that.
was
Feel
a
that.
master teacher.
Feel that. Is Mr. Leroy still around?
No,
or-
Miss Leroy died probably in the mid 90s.
Mid-90s? All right, that's somebody else we're going to have to
How
look into.
many?
And I've been trying to actually put him in the Kentucky Hall of Fame because
He
he is
deserves
one.
it.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does. That's
let's
everything
see.
I'm learning right
well,
now.
Well, let's see. I won the National Golden Gloves and the Olympic trials as a coach.
Right.
He coached Greg Page into Olympic trials at AAU. Greg won all those and
Yes.
and the National Golden Gloves and the world title.
Right, Greg
You
Page
know,
did win that.
he won the
Let's not
world
forget it.
title.
We talk about Ali all
But
the
we
time,
can't-
but don't forget about Page.
Right, but we can't seem to get Baby Leroy in the National Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Kentucky.
How
Hall of
many
Fame.
champions do you think total he had from around your time? And
Well, let's
Greg
see.
Page?
When we talk
Golden
about
Glove.
Golden Gloves,
And
and
Olympic
every
trials.
year, all the boxing gym. And at that time, Louisville was a boxing
The
mecca.
golden era.
Say it again. Say it
Louisville-
again.
Louisville-
Was what?
Boxing mecca.
We was. We trying to get back to that.
Well, Fred Stoner,
Uh-huh.
not Fred Stoner, but Joe Martin,
Right.
had discovered Muhammad Ali. Remember, he lost his bicycle. He was a policeman.
Right.
He later became the county commissioner, over the city,
Right.
and he allowed amateur boxing to be all over the city.
Okay.
And we had gyms in Portland, we had gyms in Louisville, we had gyms in the West End, East End, and we had gyms all over the city that were boxing.
Right.
And I'll tell you, one of the things about boxing training is that if you get the bug and you want to learn how to box,
Right,
okay, and
right.
you train,
Right.
and then you're gonna something about the boxing thing that you train at night, then you go home, eat your dinner, and you go to bed.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that was our routine. From we get up in the morning and jog, hit the
Right.
hit the park and run, go to school, come home, train, hit the gym, eat our dinner, then we go to bed.
Right.
Okay, and that
Right.
kept you decent. It kept you
Kept
out of
you in
trouble.
trouble. Wait, I was
Right.
about to say.
Right.
Hey,
And boxing
boxing,
was
keep
huge.
you out of trouble.
Boxing was huge in Louisville.
Right.
I mean, so one year Joe Martin made it slightly mandatory that people who had non-violent felonies
Right.
would go in the gym.
Okay.
Were sentenced to go into the gym.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Oh, so that was a sentence.
Sort of like
Okay.
Get some discipline.
Yeah, discipline. Okay.
Right. So that instead of sending in the army, they be like, "We don't lose
Yeah,
from
you
Louisville.
go-
We gonna send you to the gym.
Man,
You go to the gym."
and Baby Leroy, and we would hold bags for guys who had done some things. They hit that bag, and one man I'll never forget. He just cried while he hit the bag. He had a domestic issue with his wife,
Right. Right.
and he just cried, hitting that bag, and cried and cried.
And did that work out for him? Did that work out for that gentleman? Did that help, or did that get some
I'm
turnaround on that gentleman?
assuming
We
he
gonna say yes.
Yeah, we're gonna say yes. But I can say this. I never actually remember his name, but he was almost at every fight.
Feel that.
He
Feel
was
that.
a great follower, and he was always at the gym. You know what I'm saying? And also Baby Leroy was one of the finest men you'd ever meet. When it comes, he was a Christian man, so he was also making us hold up to ideas,
Some values.
Values.
And some standards.
values. Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
in boxing, when he first went in the ring, he said to all of us, he said, "Look, you can get in the ring with a guy, and he can bench press a car,
Right.
but if he can't box, he won't beat y'all."
Nah.
Okay, you get in the ring guy, he can run 20 miles a day, top condition, but if he can't box, he won't beat you.
Hey, say it again.
You get in the ring with a guy,
Yeah.
He said the greatest advantage or strength you can have in boxing is the ability to box. He said, and that's called the art of boxing. You all are going to learn the art of boxing under me.
That's love.
And and he is so right. I have beaten guys who look like they were built like the Hulk.
A brick house.
Brick house.
I've
But
seen
they
it firsthand.
can't box.
We've seen it firsthand. We've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
a couple of guys,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we just take one look at him and we like, man, he about to murder this dude, and this dude come in here and he
can't
murdered.
box. He can't
Get
box.
murdered.
You remember Fredo, right?
Yes.
Alfredo.
Yes.
You should have seen his first fight ever. You would have went. But this guy was 2 feet taller than him.
Yeah.
2 feet
Yeah.
taller.
Yeah.
Power him up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
ate him
yeah,
up
yeah.
just because he couldn't box.
He couldn't box. The
All right,
skills.
so let's get into you, and I want to talk about your journey.
Okay.
Mr. Silver, I want to
Okay.
talk about your journey. So you hit amateurs, they get you in Golden Gloves, 14. Tell me how that works.
Okay. I won my first Golden Glove. I've never lost in Golden Gloves.
Say it again.
I've never lost.
Hey.
I've never lost. Okay. I won. We also, Baby Leroy, because he was from Ohio, Cincinnati originally.
Hey, I always show Cincinnati love. What's up?
Yeah, man, Cincinnati was a fight city, man.
I call Cincinnati the Baltimore of the Midwest.
Yeah, we were war, man. Our Cleveland, our Columbus. Baby Leroy was known all over Ohio.
Right.
But we had now At 15, I won my first Ohio State tournament.
All right. So the first tournament you win's in Ohio.
Was Ohio. Well, other than Golden Gloves.
Other than Golden Gloves.
Okay.
Okay.
But every year they would have an Ohio tournament, and it was held at Ohio State University.
OSU.
OSU, okay.
Uh-huh.
And every year, I mean, people from the Midwest, if you're from D.C., Maryland, Washington, New York, but not New York City, but New York upstate, Buffalo, and all that. I mean, this was a huge
big
tournament.
Big event.
Big event.
Big event.
To be able to win that every year, I won it every year. Never lost in it. Baby Leroy.
You already
Baby
said you
Leroy
won every year.
Every year. But Baby Leroy was a master teacher. Me and my buddy Jimbo, my buddy Billy Boy, we would win it.
Anybody he brought won.
Everyone won. We would win it. Okay?
With that.
We win.
How many?
It was 3 or 4 of us. Okay, we win it. And
they didn't want to fight you when you showed up.
Huh?
They didn't want to fight you when you showed up.
Well, we were known, and then Cincinnati had such great fighters as Aaron Pryor.
Right, yeah, Cincinnati got
Me
great
and
fighters.
Pryor.
Nothing about that.
Me and Aaron Pryor, he went on to become champion.
Yes.
Okay.
You're familiar with Pryor.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a story about me and Aaron Pryor.
Right.
Me and Pryor fought so many times. We fought 6 times.
Y'all fought 6 times?
I won 4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. Okay.
And Pryor is from Cincinnati. We would war.
Straight war.
So it came such a big thing that one fight was at Central High School. It was packed.
Central.
My high school.
They knew it was
Central.
going down.
Yeah, it was
Central grad.
yes.
Central folks out
and
there.
then I left
I see you.
Central High School. I graduated in 74. But this was like in 73, 72. And then Pryor went to Taft High School in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So then we had a bus and we went to Taft High School.
So y'all went up there.
Pryor beat me at Central. I beat him at Taft.
How does that work?
I don't know how it worked out, but we warred. Now Pryor there was other fighters coming. Hill McKenty, he went on to become a WBA. He was from Columbus. We fought all the time. Okay. There were a lot of fighters. I was I went on at 6. I was like 132, 132 pounds. I was lightweight.
Scrapping, man.
Yeah, I was lightweight, 130 pounds like that. Okay,
That lightweight scrap.
at lightweight scrap. Yeah, we were bang.
Lightweight
We were
scrap.
bang.
Hands were
Man.
flying.
But thank God for boxing because it kept my nose clean. Okay,
Feel
now,
that.
now
Feel
Baby
that.
Leroy. So when I turned 16, I got into the open division.
Okay.
Okay, they had the Olympic trials held in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Okay, Olympic trials regional tournament. I was fortunate enough to win that tournament.
Right.
I was the youngest to ever do it. The first 16-year-old to ever win the Olympic regional tournament.
Oh, say it again. What was that?
I was the first 16-year-old to do it.
First 16-year-old to do that?
Yeah, there have been another one since me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but at that time, because of insurance issues, you couldn't advance because you were not over 18. You're not 18 or over.
I know what
Nobody
that
ever
feels
knew
like.
that.
I know what that feels like.
But the insurance would cover you or whatever until it happened.
So you got to be 18.
So
you were under the age.
I was under 18. So I stayed at home. I didn't get to watch. But the 72 Olympics was held in Munich, Germany.
Munich, Germany.
Okay. And I would have qualified, I think. Okay. The kids that went, we didn't win any gold medals, I don't think, that year in boxing.
Okay.
Okay. I think we won a silver medal. I think something. Okay. And then the following year, following the Olympics, and every 4 years, Olympics come around. The following Olympics was the 76 Olympics. I was in college. Now, me and Ray Leonard fought in 1974 for the National Golden Glove.
All right. So hold on. Let me just backtrack. Let's get this together.
Okay.
76, you in college. What college you go to?
Western Kentucky University.
WKU?
WKU. Down
Bowling Green guy.
Bowling Green, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Knock that. And then after you got out of college, what'd you say after that? You were a part of the Olympic team, or?
I made the 1980 Olympics.
So
I came back. I came back and I won the 1980 National Golden Gloves.
Okay.
Me and Ray Leonard fought for the championship of the National Golden Gloves in '74. I was runner up. I thought I beat him. His coach said, "We'll get you next year, Silver," and they raised his hand.
But they raised Sugar's
They
hand.
raised Sugar hand.
Sugar,
Okay,
but you got him.
But I thought I got him. Okay.
So check this out. You are gonna be able to check this fight out, man. I'm gonna post this fight and I'm gonna put it on my page so you can see what we're talking about here.
We got the
And
Well,
We got the
now if
video.
you look at the fight, that's a Sugar Ray Leonard tape.
that's a Sugar Ray Leonard tape. So it's the bias tape.
Yes, because if you notice, you won't see the second round, which is my best round. You know, in amateur, you only go 3 rounds.
Yeah,
Right.
they only posted the first one.
They only
got
show
the first round.
they show the first and the third,
But they ain't show the second.
but they don't show the second.
Right.
Now the first one I caught even, the second one the third one I caught even. I won the second one big, and I relaxed. Anyway,
As
but
you know,
anyway,
you can't
so
relax in
then I went away to college. That was my last fight.
That was your last fight.
I was never gonna box again. I was going to college, and I went away to college. And then in '79, I came back and started back boxing.
Okay.
Started hitting the and then I won the national. We still the Golden Gloves was the '80s. It was like November of '79. Okay, April of 1980, I won the national Golden Gloves.
You won national Golden Gloves.
After being out 6 years,
right?
I came back and won, and then
came
That
back.
bug never went
That's
away.
skill.
Yeah,
Hold up. That's skill though. That's skill though.
Well, and then I won the Olympic trials,
and then you won the Olympic trials.
and then we boycotted.
So that was the year you boycotted. So you win the Olympic trials, and that's the year boy. Was that the fifth year?
No.
Okay, so
We're talking. That was probably '70. That's when George Foreman. That was like '72.
Okay, so what did we boycott the trials for that year? Do you know what?
Because remember, Afghanistan, the Olympics was held in Soviet Union. Afghanistan and Russia went into war.
Right.
And America boycotted Soviet Union because of the Afghan war. And then later we went into Afghanistan and went to war.
Right. So that was your year, and then we boycotted.
We boycotted again.
Lovely politics.
Yeah. Then I turned pro.
So you turned pro after that.
Mm-hmm. Turned pro.
How'd that go?
I was 13-0
Word?
when I had a slight eye injury, scratch on my eye.
Okay.
And I lost. My only loss was my last fight. I had a contract in Madison Square Garden. I was fighting in Madison Square Garden, and that was my only loss.
That was your only loss. Who were you fighting at that?
I forget the guy's name.
Okay.
It was somebody that really wasn't
Did you
supposed
get
to beat
injured
me.
in that fight?
No. He'd been banged. I had to scratch. What happened is Don King them came out with some thumbless gloves that had a thing. It was called thumbless gloves.
Hold on, I've heard about that era. I heard about that era. There was an
Thumbless
era where they
gloves.
was taking the thumbs out of gloves. Yes.
Yeah, Don King was that was gonna be his thing, and then but some kind of had a seam or something that caught my eye, and I was scratched. I was fighting with scratching, and I was winning.
Right.
But my eye was swell up, and then and then finally we was in Madison Garden, and I was about to get I think a TV contract.
Yeah.
And they give you a physical. Looked at my eye, and the guy told me, you might could lose your eye, and that scared me. That same day I went in the ring, I lost that only fight, and I let this guy know, look, I ain't here to win. I'm just here to get paid and go home. And this is an amateur guy I had seen in amateur before. He had lost 12 or 13 fights.
So you were supposed to have a easy fight that day.
And I quit. Then I left. Come back home, never picked up a pair of gloves again.
Hey, okay.
Except last month, I happened to be 2 months ago, I happened to be driving up Jeffersonville, Indiana, and I see a thing called Joe's Boxing Gym.
Boom, you see it.
Boom.
You see it.
Joe's Boxing.
You see it.
This Joe is a guy he's from Philadelphia area.
Yeah, we're familiar with Joe.
Yeah. Joe has got a good gym. He's got a good heart. He's got a great bunch of fighters up in there.
Yeah, he got some in the stable.
Yeah, and then I walked in, I saw these guys, and I remember, I'll tell you one other thing happened to us. There was a man by the name of Marcus Anderson.
Marcus Anderson
was a lightweight. He was older than me, and much older than us. When I was amateur, he was already, in fact, when he came to the gym, and he saw us in the ring, he decided to start working with us, boxing with us. And Marcus had won the National Golden Gloves 3 years in a row.
Word.
From Louisville.
Oh, from Louisville.
Okay, in the mid-60s, early 60s. Okay. 64, 65, and 66, something like that. Turned pro, but Marcus broke his hand in going into the he was a top #1 and #2 contender. Broke his hand, getting ready for a championship fight. Okay, then he worked his way, got his hand healed, fought back, built his record back up, got back in broke his hand again.
Broke it again?
And then he came to our gym one day. He was really on his third comeback. And we saw him hit the bag. And we saw instead of turning his hand over, he was punching it like this. And my trainer said, that's the reason why you're breaking your hand.
You're not turning it over.
A basic
fundamental
that somebody didn't teach you.
Wow.
Fundamentals. I know y'all want to see your show, but fundamentals. You hear it right here.
And Marcus Boyle was so slick. I mean, he would get in the ring with us and make us look stupid. I mean, he was master teaching. He would teach you how to hit your elbow where you can't use, the funny bone?
Yeah.
The pro trick. Ooh, you can't raise that arm. Little tricks.
Right. Right.
Dirty little trick.
Marcus was a bad boy. And so after we worked, and then I'm talking about 15, 14, 15, working with Marcus every day.
Right.
He became sort of like our assistant coach to Baby Leroy.
Word.
Okay.
Word.
And then after we got through working with him, and then we would spar every day. We would spar every day
Every day.
in the rain.
That was normal
He was,
back then.
yeah. Nobody, Baby
That's what they
Leroy
did.
was not a man who was into calisthenics.
Not that guy.
No. The art of boxing is what you need. I ain't got you but 2 hours a day.
Right.
I'm gonna teach you boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You can do your calisthenics on your own time.
Right.
By the time
right.
I got you, we're gonna
be in the
learn how to
ring.
box.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Okay,
Feel that.
and that was
Feel
his thing. We was in the ring every day, and we work on things, and then get in the ring.
that.
You know, he could work on combinations. You know how you see football players run plays?
Mm-hmm.
When boxing, most people don't know you. You know, it's not everybody knows how to throw a 1-2,
Mm-hmm.
an uppercut, but it's how you throw it or when to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He would come up with ideas on how to work that 11-2 into a play.
Yeah. So when I
You know, so guys, and we working plays on each other. We all know the playbook. And we work. So when stragglers come in the ring, oh man,
I used to eat them.
oh man,
I used to eat them.
oh man, we love it. You know, and guys, big old muscles. I mean, he told me, he said, the muscle guys are the easiest ones to beat.
Say it again.
The muscle guys, because they're not flexible,
They're all strength. They're
they're
just trying
stiff,
to throw strength.
they're stiff, and the muscles contract.
Mhm.
They don't have no speed.
No speed.
And them big old heavy muscles, they way heavy.
Right.
So you hit them
right.
arms, and after a period of time, you see a guy, he do his arms like this. He can't hold his arms because they just so heavy. The
Right.
muscles are so heavy.
Right.
Man, I want to fight that big guy with the muscles. everybody, you know.
I want the big dude.
Yeah, we want him. Yeah, no. You know, he's already taken. Come on, Lee, let me have the big guy with the muscles. Everybody know the easiest ones to beat. You know?
Say
the ones
that,
you,
say it
the
again.
ones you're afraid of is a long lean, the Tommy Hearns. They lean
Right.
and long.
And you say that because I watched this fight and I'm going to post and that's going to be up on the page. So I watched this fight. So what they said about you when you were fighting this Sugar Ray, when you was fighting Sugar Ray in this amateur thing, they talked about you. And what they were saying about you was you were fast, quick, slick, ill. You know what I'm saying? Slick like an eel. He was slick like an eel and was very maneuverable and very fast and talked about. Did you even bust the shuffle out a few times?
Yes, I did. I shuffled on it too. Yeah, I shuffled
You
on
gotta see
it.
this video.
Yeah.
You gotta check the
Now
video.
Ali was my inspiration.
Feel that, man.
I would
Brother
watch
Bond.
Ali, and that would be my model.
Feel
So
that.
Baby Leroy said, if you're going to box like Ali, then let me show you what we need to do. And so that was what, so I was to hold my hands down like Ali did. I never once held my hands up.
Right.
Okay.
I
But Baby
peep
Leroy,
game.
but Baby Leroy taught me, if you're going to hold your hands down, a certain way you got to do it.
Word.
Okay.
Word.
And if you're going
Word.
to box that way, then do it. Okay.
Okay.
But so we would practice shooting jabs from the
knee.
waist.
From the knee
Yeah,
to the
from
waist.
the knee.
From the knee.
You know.
Shoot jabs.
And
What you're not usually supposed
Right.
to
Not
do,
what you're
but-
supposed to do.
Right.
Right.
From the knee, right.
But if you're
My
slick
gloves
enough-
are your right hand. You know, our right hand. Baby Leroy had certain strategies. You know, and certain strategies. I had more first round knockouts
Really?
than probably any of my knockouts. And simple fact because Baby Leroy had a strategy for first round.
Nice.
You know,
strategy
he
versus-
called
All right, you gonna get.
he called it a mirror.
All right. So hold on. Now on this, so before we start giving it all away.
Yeah,
you can't give it all away.
okay,
Since you got this
okay.
Joe's Boxing Club.
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Yeah, I can't give it away.
Everything away.
Yeah. I'm gonna teach my boys that though.
Right.
So
You want to teach your boys that,
Yeah.
and you're teaching where at? You're teaching
Joe's
at Joe's
Boxing.
Boxing Club.
I'm
right
there
now?
helping them out.
Right.
Joe is a master coach. Joe's a trainer.
Right.
I come in and help when I can. Now, right now, I work 2 jobs right now. I work, I work
Right.
at CTDI during the day. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and then I
you could
work.
left that part out.
Yeah, and then I work for Censusville in the evening.
Right.
Okay, but I plan on
You can left that
retiring.
part out too.
I plan on retiring this year.
Okay, so
So next year, I'm gonna give them full time.
Right. See,
All right.
busy man. Who that?
I'm going with anybody.
Who that? Right.
Calm
I've got
down,
some
Charles,
there.
calm down.
Right. I'm like that.
He was
The
hot.
vice festival. Hey. My
This
man
is
gets me
dope.
hyped. He
This
does.
is-
He
this
gets
is
me hyped,
awesome.
and I love
Yeah,
this.
but then one of the great things
Mhm.
about boxing
Mhm.
is that I believe that the MMA and all the new other things that's out here now
Speak on it.
has made it's getting so very popular.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
okay. and a lot of the direction of these kids are going in all those other directions.
Right.
But boxing still has a gold Olympic berth.
It does. It does.
And because
It
of,
does.
I want to train these guys. I believe we could have gold medalists.
Say it
In
again.
Louisville
Drop
and
bombs.
Jeffersonville, Indiana. We can have gold medalists
From the Kentucky area.
from Kentucky area.
We say it all
I'm
the time.
talking about a
Right,
whole
so here-
team. I'm talking about back to back Olympic gold medalists.
And running it. And straight
Running.
running it. And that's what
And then we
want to
can
get back to.
bring national. We can bring Pony, Everlast, Nike, all up to Louisville area.
Right.
Okay, I saw Greg do it, and Greg didn't go to the Olympics because of he was predicted to fight Tefilio Stevens. Tefilio Stevens in 1976, no, in 1972, he destroyed this white champion called not Cooney. I forget the other kid's name. I forget, but he destroyed him.
Right.
72 Olympics.
72 Olympics.
And they tried to recruit him to come to America, and he stood up in front of the world and said, "Why do I need $1 million when I got 1 million Cubans who love me?"
Oh.
And so, and Cuban was a communist
At that time.
at that time.
Yeah.
So at that time, so there was a big thing about we got to beat Tefilio, and then Greg Page was the number one. That Greg Page at that time, he was the hottest prospect. They did an ebony thing on him. He was passing.
We talk about Ali all
to
the time,
Louisville.
but Greg Page was major, man.
Right, he was
Page was major, yo.
Baby Leroy's training. What happened, and this is, Page is gone, okay. But what actually
Rest
happened
in
is that
peace.
success, I think, ruined him. When he got up and got so successful that all of a sudden other people, his family, his father, his uncle, they all came in this side and they pushed Baby Leroy out. They brought some guy in who gonna train him who didn't know nothing about boxing and all that. And Greg went downhill. His skill set went downhill and all that. And then, but prior to that, Greg was kicking everybody's butt.
Feel that.
Everybody butt. And then
Bomb for Greg Page.
yeah, they wanted him to fight Tefilio Stevens at the 1980 Olympics.
All right, so did he fight this guy?
Well, no, because what happened is in '78, Greg's family talked him into going and turning pro while the money's with you now.
Okay, so on
78.
that note,
He didn't go to Olympics.
on that note, there is an issue with boxing about we're not chasing gold medals anymore and people are chasing bread. Everybody's chasing the bag now.
Yeah.
Everybody chasing the bag now. So what are your thoughts on, like, I can tell from what you said,
Amateur.
your thoughts were, let's get a gold medal. You're about that life.
My goal, I've seen guys turn pro. Look, I had over almost 90, 80 amateur fights.
Right.
Okay, most of the guys, Ray Neal and them, Tommy Hearns and them, they all had a multiple of amateur fights. We fight. Now, one thing about Louisville never had an AAU. I never went to an AAU tournament. Louisville never, all we had was a Golden Glove franchise.
Right.
We never had AAU. So a lot of the guys I fight, I would win the Golden Gloves and fight in the Nationals, and then I'd be idle for a whole year almost. Because we didn't have an AAU. And we done already fought everybody in Cincinnati. I done fought Aaron Pride so many times. We wouldn't fight each other.
Right, you done fought him 6 times.
Yeah,
bro.
and we
Like, how many times
Cleveland
I
or whatever, we fight in the Ohio State Fair. That my last year when I was 18, we didn't have the money to go. Baby Leroy couldn't make it.
Right.
So that's the year I didn't win it. I didn't go.
Right.
Okay, from 15, 16, and 17, I won it. We didn't get to go at 18.
Right.
Okay, so then that year I fought Ray Leonard. I didn't fight but once or twice that whole year, and that was in the tournament of the National Gloves.
So you fought Sugar Ray Leonard off what? 1 or 2 fights that
One,
whole
2
year?
fights that whole
and
year.
still performed the way that you did.
Yeah, yeah.
Off a biased video. Off a biased video.
Well, but Baby Leroy taught us, that it's like riding a bicycle. Once you get in the ring, could you be a little rusty and that type thing. But anyway, but I bring this up to say that now these young guys are turning pro after 10 fights, 10 amateur fights, 6 amateur fights. Right. And people are ready to turn them pro. Look, don't get me wrong. The pro game is going to be there for you. The pro game is my opinion. The pro game is going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's learn the art of boxing.
Hey, I'm with that.
Okay, the art of boxing, and you can't do that in just 6 or 7 pro fights, 6 or 7 amateur fights. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Right. Although there was a lot of fights. We would fight every other weekend here in Louisville until we beat all the gyms. Baby Leroy was a master teacher. We beat Ormsby. We beat Fred Stoner was an older trainer at the time, and we beat all his fighters.
Right, but he was older at that time.
Older at that time. Right. And he had assistant coaches and all that. Fred was a master teacher, and Fred would be the first one to compliment you.
Feel that.
Well, you're good. You're looking good. He'd come out gym and something. And all our coaches were in the camaraderie. All of our coaches, Biscuit.
Yes. So there's a key. Say that again.
All the coaches were in the camaraderie.
They
have
coaches were
respect
in
for
the
each
camaraderie.
other. They have great respect for each other. You know, they have respect for the game.
Right.
You know, man. Biscuit, Baby Leroy, Fred Stoner. I can give you Troy Eskridge. I can give you 7 or 8 white trainers who just loved us. We loved them. You know, and we were all one boxing, one big family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in those days, white kids, black kids come to our gym. We drank out of the same bottle. We go to the same tournament. You know, and the winningest coach goes. When it would go when they have the local Golden Gloves, you'd have teams from Owensboro, teams from Bowling Green, teams from you know, and Louisville, Lexington. You know, and we have a thing called the winningest coach goes with the fighters to the nationals. Every year when you win the local Golden Gloves, you go to the national Golden Gloves tournament.
Okay, so that's kind of like
only have one coach to go there.
Right, so that's kind of like if
you know how
team that wins the national championship in basketball
Yeah.
is the coach that coaches the Olympic team.
Yeah, well,
Kind of like that.
yeah, sort of like that. But the winningest coach goes to the nationals with the team. Okay, now they already had, you know, certain officials from Kentucky always go. They were part of the Golden Gloves, you know, part of the Golden Gloves thing, part of the Kentucky Golden Gloves. They would automatically go as chaperones or whatever else.
Right.
But the winningest coach goes every year. My trainer goes every year. Every year, you know, just no doubt about it. But you know, most of the coaches were fighting on who's going to be number 2. Okay. We automatically knew
We
going.
know number 1.
Yeah, we know who's going. I mean, it wasn't even a question.
Fighting for assistant.
It wasn't a
Number
question.
2. So
Yeah,
who's
yeah, yeah.
going with you?
Yeah.
Who's gonna go with you?
That's not, that wasn't. But anyway, so we would go with it. But the reason why I say this is because the coaches were all in camaraderie. We all love one another. We all care for one another.
Man, word.
And our fighters and our, you know, from Biscuit to Baby Leroy to there was a gym in Portland, Kula Mula.
Oh, say it. Cool.
Kula Mula was William Biller.
Oh, okay.
William Biller won the he won the National Golden Gloves. 70 1970.
Was 70? You hear all these National Golden Gloves winners he keep
National
talking about
Golden,
this from the crib.
William
You
Biller.
heard like he's
William
just
Biller.
running them.
I mean, look,
running them.
if you were to
That's
talk
what
to
they were
people,
back then,
if you were to talk to people who love boxing outside of Louisville, they would know the Louisville fighters.
Right.
They would know the Louisville history.
Right.
They know it better than we do. You know, I was sitting in Mexico City with Main Stewart. Main Stewart was fighting a boys fighting, and I was working the other guy's corner from Louisville. And me and him talked. He told me about tomorrow's champions.
Right.
Let me tell you about tomorrow's champions.
Right.
Tomorrow's champions was a television show that came on in the late 50s. Ali, as a child, was on it.
All right. So
It was a television show that aired on Saturday.
Aired on Saturday.
And all it did was
Sundays at 5.
every day it watched boxing. But it would have a boxing show, local Louisville boxers on TV.
Right.
Okay, and it was, and, you know, and amateurs. You know, we're talking kids from maybe 12 on up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And it was showed on, and it was, we were the envy of every city.
This is the reason it's only state that 4 world champion.
Yeah.
No other state.
No other state had that.
Kentucky-
Man used to told me, he
told
said,
you.
man, y'all had a show where y'all was showing boxers on TV. He said, man,
Every week.
people was jealous of Louisville, Kentucky. It was called Tomorrow's Champions.
We are getting back to that. We need to get back to
We
that.
need to go back here. Man,
get
nobody,
So tell us.
That's why
No
we here.
city
That's why
had
we
that
here.
but
We're
us.
trying to help get back to that.
no city had that but us.
Tell us how you. What was your span of? You just said you. I don't know if you stumbled upon or you got to connect with Joe's Boxing Club. How did you come across? Hey, I'm gonna jump right in here and we're gonna get back into boxing.
Joe's Boxing Club?
Yeah.
So how did you get in the connect?
Well,
with this? And
okay,
how
there was a
long has it
guy-
been since you've been out of the ring.
Oh, so
kind of,
before
too?
Joe's boxing in.
Right.
Oh, I'd been out of the ring 30 years, 40 years.
All right.
I had to put a pair of gloves on.
So Joe brought some life back to you.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
where
Well,
did this connect?
okay,
I'm getting
I ran
back into
where I
this,
work
you
at, there's a guy named Ray Shine.
Uh-huh.
Ray Shine's a member of my church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and when he was a youngster, a couple years back, I'm a deacon in my church. I interviewed him and got him to come to join our church. Okay, and took him back and we talked the Bible and all that. And I signed him up and got him baptized, all of that.
Oh, you see, baptized the man too?
Yeah, okay.
Good stuff.
So then, years I see him one day at the job. I said, damn, Ray Sean, I ain't seen you. He moved to Indianapolis and do some things. I said, Ray Sean, what's up, little buddy? He remember me, what's up, Terry? But he knew I was a boxer.
I ain't know.
But he had a thing, he had a Joe's Boxing on his shirt.
Oh, you talking about bald head Ray Sean?
Ray Sean.
Ah, okay. I work with this guy. If you
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah. So I saw Ray Sean. So then when I saw Joe's Boxing, well, I'm riding down 10th Street the same day after we get out of work, and I see Joe's Boxing right there at 10th Street. So I pull over, going there. There's Ray Sean, and they're working out.
Oh, so Ray Sean worked out in there?
Ray Sean worked out.
Hey, boy,
and I
Ray
walked
Sean,
in
I'm
and
coming for you.
I walked in and said, I said, Ray Sean, and I saw Joe, but I walked in, and I met Joe. A super guy. He's a baby Leroy coach.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He's a guy who loves the kids, loves to teach it. He also got a guy, I forget his girl's name. She's a young Filipino. She's from Philippines. She's a hell of a fighter. And see, women can box now. Back in our day, women can box.
Speaking of women boxing,
Okay.
we don't know if we're going to be able to get her back.
All right. You're a boxer too?
Yeah, I've had 14 fights.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We got the sports fanatic that just,
Yeah.
he just discovered boxing. Okay.
Right. I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's
So
okay.
I got you
That's
too.
okay. Yes,
But
sir.
I've been in the
Yes,
ring.
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying? So, and then she is awesome. I forget. I'm sorry.
She fights now? Or
Yeah, she's fighting now, and she's also coaching over there with Joe.
And you talking about
I've never seen a Filipino fighter around here.
Jessica.
Okay, so you talking about
Wait,
Jessica.
Jessica.
All
I
right,
couldn't think her name.
cool. So you
What's
talking
her
about
last
Jessica.
name?
I wasn't sure. It's
Yeah,
Jessica
Jessica.
Price. Is
Yes,
it Price?
Price, I think
Oh,
so.
Yeah,
she's
Jessica
over there
Price.
right now? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
brought her many a
Yeah,
times when she
Jessica
was
Price. What up?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
She's Filipino? I didn't know.
I don't know. Not getting nationality.
I'm like
Not getting
confused as
I
nationality.
think I'm talking about Jessica.
She
I
got
think
some
it's
tan
Jessica.
She
skin.
turned
She
pro
got some
yet.
tan skin.
I don't think she's turned pro yet.
She's been
Okay.
trying to.
Yeah, she's
Me
doing
Yeah.
it.
and
so
her,
let's talk
me
about Jessica.
and Jessica started at the same time.
Oh, okay.
At the same year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What gym was you working at?
I started with Gerald Reed
Who?
at Four Seasons. Gerald Reed.
Oh, Jerry.
She
Okay.
started at Lex.
Okay,
I started
Alexa.
at Lexington.
Okay. Okay.
And that
Okay.
was like one of my first sparring partners.
Oh.
Outside the gym.
Okay. Okay.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
Okay.
Good
Feel
luck.
that.
That's what's- Okay. All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do.
So you in the gym for good now.
Yeah. Now,
And
I told
you
them.
plan on going
I told them
full-time
that Joe
here.
knows that I'm coming back full time.
Right.
But right now, three things. And I told all the fighters.
Uh-huh.
I said, look, next year I will be the baby Leroy. I will never miss. Okay. But right now,
Look
I'm working
out,
2
look
jobs to
out.
retire.
Hey, he gets me hyped.
I'm working 2 jobs.
He gets me
This is my year. They're going to finish my last year working.
Right.
I'm 66.
Right.
My last year working. And then I'm going to dedicate myself to, I'm going to build someone.
Back to your love.
I'm my
Here we
first
go.
love.
Okay. That's where we're gonna stop. Now stop. This is where we're gonna stop. At.
Okay.
This is where we're gonna stop because
I'm going to bring gold medals.
Hey, you know what I'm
We
saying?
bring gold
I
medals. I
can
just want everybody to listen.
I can
We
talk
will
this.
be world champion. We will be renowned. Louisville, Jeffersonville area,
Say it.
Indiana area
Let's
will be
go.
renowned
Say it again. Say
for
it
all
again.
over
We
the
dropping
world.
bombs
They're going to
in
be talking
here.
about,
Let's
they
go.
had 9 Olympic gold medalists on the same team. Wait a minute. Last Olympics, it was Louisville. They won 7. Now they won 9. Next year they're going to be 11. The whole Louisville, the whole Olympics is just Louisville.
Let's
That's
go.
got to be-
Let's go.
No.
Let's
This
go.
we were home with Muhammad Ali.
Hey,
Jimmy
let's
Ellis.
go. Let's
Jimmy
go.
Ellis
I gotta
and Greg
give it up.
Page.
Yep.
I gotta give it up. Okay, so hold on.
Greatest.
I could talk to you forever. So here's what I
Okay.
we could talk to you
Okay,
forever.
okay, okay.
We
And
could.
we are going to. We're
Okay.
gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap it up now.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna ask you to come back. So we're gonna see you again.
Yes, sir, I'll be happy to
Two
come
part.
back.
Got too
Yes,
much
we
to
got.
say.
We're gonna
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
So as we get out of here, we'll start with Kate. Anything like to say before we go?
Man, Kat, well, I'm looking forward to next time.
uh-huh.
Oh, hey, yo, so here's an idea.
Uh-huh.
Since we can't, Moen's MIA training, not
Uh-huh.
MIA, but training not locally.
Right.
He's been wanting to put on some gloves to see what
Oh,
it's
so now,
like.
so first I was messing with Moten and his gym. So now they get ready to make me mess with Joe. Y'all gonna love this. So if anybody can get me out here, it's either mayhem or this gentleman right here.
Yeah.
It's just-
He want to hit
so
some
I may-
pads and
you may
feel what
see
it's
something.
like.
And Ray Sean, I ain't mess with you in there. This may be. So anything you'd like to say before we go?
We need to bring amateur boxing back big time. Ali wanted to bring it back when he built the Ali Center. He knew that amateur boxing was a huge thing to keep him out of trouble. When and bring amateur boxing back because it's a great thing. It's unlike basketball, or football. This is everybody. Whatever your weight is, you're gonna be matched somebody with your size, so everybody can fit in. Right. Okay, and not only is boxing, but when I was there boxing, kids who didn't like to get hit, nose busters, something like that, they would practice commentating, and they would practice. And you be amazed, Baby Leroy would make them learn how to read and all of that, so you can practice. So it became a broad thing,
right?
There's a reason you're the ring announcer.
Broader thing, but boxing
not ring announce.
Now, amateur boxing could be a huge thing for this area,
right?
And I noticed the crime rate is and going on in this city. Let's give our kids another alternative other than the drugs which the only thing they see.
I agree with you. Drop a bomb for that. Yes, sir, without a doubt. So I want Louisville to be known for something else than another 48, and this has been going on for years, as you see. So we just want to be a part of that to help bring that culture back and to help bring kings of boxing back to Louisville. So we're gonna get out of here. We run out of time. We're gonna talk to this guy again. He will come back.
I'm looking forward to it.
I appreciate you being here.
Charles, thank you so much. Thank you
here.
so much.
I love you being here, and we're gonna see some more of you. We're gonna shout everybody out before we go. Joe's Boxing Club.
Yep.
You won't find this guy. That's where you find him at.
Yep. And Coach Joe.
And Coach Joe.
Coach Joe,
Jessica.
Ray Sean, all the fighters.
All y'all.
Fighters champions.
So we want to say what's up to everybody.
He's on 10th Street.
I'm trying to think.
Jeffersonville. I forget his address.
It is. Oh, what we want to say, what we got going down. Our hometown. We had traveled Evansville. We done Cincinnati. July 30th. We getting down at the Expo Center on 7th Street. All or Nothing Boxing, Future Promotions. We about to get it in. We about to bring it home. Full card. We about to put on the show. Something ridiculous. Remember, I'm only there to keep you hyped, but you there to watch the fights.
Yes.
Local Louisville fighting. We bomb first. We out of here.
All right. Beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about.
Beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about.